All right, so we're getting started with our first podcast. It's Jokes on Dad. Just kind of chop it up, talk about raising kids and kind of what's going on. But I heard that Rame had some pretty good news today.
Oh, for sure.
Well, you want to tell the story?
Well, you talking about the cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else you got?
Well, apparently, B texts me today and says, I made fun of him for collecting Pokemon cards. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I was like, that's something you want to do? Do it. So then he says, you go every day to go buy Pokemon. I'm like, no, I don't. I go when I go to the card shop. So today I went to the card shop. I had some cards that were sent out for grading and, checking on the cards, making sure they don't steal my cards and making sure they're at PSA, track it. And so I said, let me get a couple of those boxes. They were $50 boxes of Bowman Chrome basketball cards. And you can pull a signature card. So they're like, man, these are shitty ass, boxes. I wouldn't buy it. I'm like, give me those two. They dropped.
Shittier the better.
Yeah. So I ended up buying two, and then I pulled Cooper Flagg, like chrome green, and then I'm like turning around, and because I have a PSA app, so I go on the PSA app, I scan the front, I scan the back. No one has it graded, but there's someone selling it for $25,000.
Holy!
So I'm like, hey, bro, CJ,
lucky ass.
CJ, come over here. I think I pulled something. Everyone got out of there. There was like 10 people in there. They got out and goes, I think you pulled one of 20. He said one of 27,000 boxes. You'd be able to pull that. Oh. So I go, okay, well, what do you think it's worth? He goes, bro, it's in the thousands. And then I go, how much is it to get it graded? Let's get it graded. I'm like, fill out the form, bro. I'm not leaving it without. So they charge $10 to clean it up. So they clean it. They do all that for the card. I'm like, do that and send it out. It was like $400 to get it graded. I'll get it back in about a week and a half. So here, I'll show you guys. I'll show you the card.
Did you hear that, Ro? How much does it cost to get it graded? You said $4?
So the green one.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one was 400 pesos to get it graded. So it was a good day. I was there to check on my cards, and I hit something pretty good. So
nice. I hope it comes back at 10. Then we can split it.
That's the fun part about all three of us really enjoy just the gamble. I mean, it's just taking a chance on doing something little to hit something big. So when that happens, I don't know, it's pretty cool. I mean,
well, my problem is I collect in it. I don't rip anything. So I just have boxes and boxes and boxes in my closet.
Yeah.
I haven't reorganized. My wife made fun of me the other day because I haven't reorganized my closet since we probably moved in the house. But I got a big old shipment of Pokemon cards. I tore my whole closet down.
Mint condition organization.
Everything looks beautiful now, stacked in order from smallest to biggest. But I barely rip anything. But
that's crazy.
The boxes hopefully will be worth money one day. But Rame is a ripper.
Yeah,
I'm just a runner. I'm just a runner.
Yeah. Well, I asked them today. I was like, "What do you guys recommend?" I'm like, I like to collect, open them, and get PSA. I like to grade them.
Yeah.
He thinks everything's a PSA 10. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I let them see the cards first.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, look at this card. What do you think it's going to be? And they're like, this looks good. I would send it out.
Show me the card again.
Yeah. So this was straight out of the box, and that
looks like a 9.
I like
that looks like a 9.
Okay,
what's good about what I like about this card, there's no real centering. It's just one card.
Yeah, Pokemon cards, it's the centering matters a lot.
Yeah, the back of
the border has to be equal or whatever.
Yeah. That's once it's off centered, it's not going to come back.
The crazy thing about that I read online is that the Japanese cards are less valuable than the American cards because their machines are so precise when they cut that everything is centered perfectly. Well, we were talking about earlier how Tokyo, Japan, they have a higher standard of excellence. In America, our machines just cut shit left to right, so everything's uneven.
Yeah.
So when you do have a perfectly centered card, it's rare.
That's the anomaly, the perfectly centered.
And what's crazy is I don't know if you know about the grading. A 10 would be, say, for example, 1,000. A 9 is $30. So
okay.
the
drop off
you
is
pay
crazy.
More, the higher the grade, the more you have to pay.
Yeah. So there's insurance on top of it that you end up having to pay for them to send it back in case it gets lost and transit, but at the same time, it's
Have you guys ever got one?
no, I haven't got anything back yet. It takes about fucking. I have.
But they take the money right away from the account.
No, my boy CJ. When the cards come in, I pay.
Okay.
But when the cards that I took to GameStop, you pay right off the bat.
I heard don't go through GameStop.
Why?
Because there's a kid that's working there for minimum wage that sees your $25,000 card. Versus a reputable card shop like CJ's or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just saying be careful because doesn't that kid doesn't. I mean, no knock to GameStop, but it's like that kid might not necessarily care about his job.
Correct.
And just I'm gonna swap him out.
Yeah.
And you'll never know. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, but going back to ripping and all that, I like to rip. I like to get valuable cards and then get them graded and then have a value. I have boxes that are open. Most likely, I scratch my neck walking in. I walk by them. I'm like, I want to open them, but I don't mind having unopened boxes because people are gonna buy them at a higher premium just for, like you said, the gambling aspect of it. Like maybe I'll pull something. They don't make these boxes anymore. That's B's objective, is to sell them at higher value or down the road or keep them giving to his kids.
Yeah, I'm a scalper, so there's a difference.
Yeah, but
I got to buy low, sell high.
Yeah. I don't mind opening them and seeing what happens.
But I think that's our personalities too. I think that all three of us, I think you and I probably have more of that type of gamble in us where we want that big thing, and B's fine with like grinding it out, but hitting like singles or doubles all the time, where we're constantly trying to hit a home run but striking out more times.
Probably an age demographic thing. Makes sense.
Yeah, why are you here? This is the 50 and over club.
I identify as a Gen X. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, we've talked about that like a lot.
I told him, I was like, a lot of my core values are like Gen X. He leans over. You grew up poor. That's why. I was like, it makes sense.
That's it. I mean, I think that's us too. Like, it's not just because we grew up poor, but everybody was poor.
Yeah.
And like in the 70s when we were born, like nobody was really rich. It just seemed like there was a lot of like middle class. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you do though. I think a lot of your personality and a lot of the things that you're interested in are more aligned with our generation than his own generation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's an old soul.
He's my brother, my best friend, and then I introduced him to somebody who's even older.
Yeah.
And now we got a podcast.
Our average age is about 40 now.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, our personalities really match as far as interests.
I think our core values match. That's more important, right?
Yeah.
But it has to be that. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just like, raising kids or whatever, you have to, when you're instilling things in your kids, it's not really, people think you're being disciplined or stern or mean, but you're really like giving them a lane. Like it's like when you learn to bowl, they put the bumpers up, so you really can't fail. Yeah. So when you're raising kids, it's the same thing, but you're going to let them fall.
Yeah.
Like let them fall, but help them get, make them get up or help them get up. And it's the same thing. Like I think in adults, like we see it a lot, like in all of us see it a lot in the things we do at work or the things that people we hang around and stuff like that. And so I don't know. I mean, this is kind of like what we talked about a lot with, like, you guys are both in a way different place. You have kids, little babies, and then, kids going through, about to start high school. So that's exciting for you. I mean, it doesn't seem exciting for you. I mean, I know you're excited.
Excited, scared, all the above.
Yeah.
Well, the one going into high school, it's my daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we might end up in prison.
I'd much rather have a son going to high school.
We might end up in prison. We put that on our calendar.
Yeah.
Just in case something happens. But
it's all bad.
It is scary. My son's going to high school next year. And, high school nowadays, we really don't know. I mean, it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
And so the fear of bullying and what they teach at the schools is a concern. But if you have a good stronghold, a good foundation at home, it will tend to be a little bit easier if you teach your kids what to expect. And that's what I do, and that's what B does.
Yeah.
Expectations are one thing and preparing them is another, but they have to experience it and make the right choices. And when they do, and if they have questions, that's why it's always, we're always open book.
Yeah. You just hope that you've built a strong enough relationship with your children to where something happens or they're confused or curious that they come to you.
Yeah.
Right? But I think, you guys probably more than me, but in relations to sports, it always starts at home, right? So if a kid all of a sudden can't swing the bat, can't shoot, the basket or throw the football, and he can do it any other day, it's usually, hey, what's going on at home, right? So for me, I think that's the most important thing for us is like we have to create that foundation of safety, security, so that they can go out there and be who they want to be,
Yeah,
right? And be confident every day and tackle the world. But yeah, no, I worry about all those things all the time. Like, thankfully, we've never had to deal with bullies or anything like that. So naturally, my next question is like, are you the bully? You know what I mean? So, especially my daughter.
Where are you getting all this money from?
Whose glasses are these? Brand new pair of shoes. I didn't buy them.
Yeah.
No, but I've been blessed with both of them. They fight each other every single day at home. But I know once they step out that door and they go to the same school, like she's got his back all day and vice versa. You know what I mean?
And I think that's important. I mean, I think to know that too is important. I think to know that your kids are down for each other and they're going to make sure nobody's going to.
My son has a TikTok. I think I sent it to you, but he said he made a post about his sister. He said the pros and cons of having an older sister. He said the pros, she's your sister.
Yeah.
The cons, she's not always going to be down the hall. Yeah. And I was like, oh, bro.
Yeah, that's way too deep.
I was like, that's way too deep. I was like, what are you doing? I thought you hated her.
No, I thought yesterday or whatever it was, Mother's Day. So we saw each other on Saturday, and him walking all the way to Walmart.
Walked to Walmart.
Went and walks back with a big ass cake. It was bigger than him.
Oh, wow.
And walks in with that and a thing of a thing of flowers, and he's gives it to Twee, and then Twee said, "Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you for you and your sister." He goes, "I bought it. It's from me." He goes, "It's from me." Like multiple
kids,
times.
they're gonna take the credit. They want all the credit. But yeah, man, kids are great. Just teaching them the right path, and like you said, they're gonna fall and they're gonna make mistakes, and you want to be there to give them advice, but I'm gonna let them pick themselves up.
Yeah,
this world is hard. There's gonna be times where they're gonna feel alone. They're gonna be times where they're not gonna succeed. So whether it's sports or education, and they got a lot of big decisions to make. As they get older, we're going to be there to support, right? And we just hope that they make the right choices and come out of it the way we want, because our door is always open. They want to stay and live at our house. We're Middle Eastern, so our culture is you can stay and live with us as long as you want. Yeah, Middle Eastern.
Didn't know that.
You're Mongolian. So
it's his favorite dish. We real quick, we were playing, what's that game called? Charades? Or not charades?
I know what you're talking about.
The headbands one.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's called headband.
Headbands?
Oh, where you put the card in?
Yeah, we were playing that way back in the day.
Yeah.
And it said it was Vietnamese, I think. The word was Vietnamese or Vietnam. So I think Twee's wearing it. And then we were trying to give him hints. We're like, Twee's nationality. He goes, Mongolian. So it's been Mongolian ever since. But it also happens to be like one of his favorite dishes from P.F. Chang's.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That man knows what he likes.
That's our P.F. Chang plug.
Yeah.
Send us some food.
In case anybody wants to...
in case anybody's listening, send us some food.
in case anybody will ever listen. Looking for sponsors.
What is it? The dynamite shrimp?
Yeah. Oh, Mongolian beef, sweet and sour chicken,
We know that.
and rice, bro.
That's his favorite restaurant. He's
P.F. Chang's?
He's heartbroken the one downtown closed since COVID.
Yeah, I love P.F. Chang's. I like
We've celebrated at least 8 birthdays there.
Yeah.
Not all his.
No, all his. All his.
Well, this year's that we're going to Vegas, though.
Yeah,
So
that'll be fun.
excited about that. You're turning 50, right?
5-0. Yeah, man. Yeah, 5-0.
It's crazy.
No, it's not that crazy.
5-0, the hip replacement.
You just had a birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5-5.
5-5.
Yeah. So
Double nickel.
Double nickels.
Jordan, I think, did that in the playoffs against the Knicks.
Did LeBron ever do that? That's my only question.
Oh my God! Please, let's not talk about LeBron, man. We get into the GOAT debate. It's not even.
Yeah, that's another.
Yeah,
I don't got enough energy right now.
I'd rather debate someone that thinks LeBron is the GOAT, because all three of us.
Oh, my
know
son
that
will be
Michael
here.
Yeah,
My son will be on here at some point, and you cannot convince him otherwise. We send him
Oh man.
thing after thing about it, and
you're gonna when he comes on, you're gonna let me know, because I'm gonna.
Oh, you'll be here.
You'll be in that chair.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna.
He can sit over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up some stats. I'm gonna have a lot of paperwork for him.
From the kid who's never seen paper.
Yeah.
Everything's on
MapQuest?
iPad.
Yeah.
Print out a MapQuest.
Swear.
We're gonna show him highlights on paper,
Yeah.
not actual videos.
Yeah. When that day comes, where we debate the GO conversation, I'll be ready.
That'll be a fun one.
I'll be ready.
But speaking of sports and kids, how do you think kids are being raised as far as sports, practicing, work ethic nowadays versus when you guys were very young, a long, long, long time ago?
Why does it have to be a long, long time ago?
I mean,
Why could it be a long? Why
Could
could
it
it be just
one long?
recently? Yeah.
Couldn't have been one long. Yeah. Didn't have to be
Long,
three
long,
lines.
long. Like you're. What do you?
I think
whose
Ethan-
name is that? Long, long, long.
it's my cousin. It's my cousin. Ling and Long.
Yeah.
But no, Ethan, probably when he was like 4 or 5, he asked, when I was a kid, were things black and white?
Were there dinosaurs walking around?
Oh, man. I cracked up so bad. I was like, no, son, everything's in color.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Chris. Yeah,
No,
go ahead.
But what do you guys think?
I think it's a lot different. I mean,
Well,
I think,
you coached.
Yeah, I coached and I played, and I mean, I think when we grew up, I mean, it was a lot different because I don't think it was as specialized as it is now. Like you couldn't get a coach or a trainer, like that really didn't exist. I mean, I'm sure it did at some level, but it's probably not as prevalent now as it is now. Like you can look around the corner and somebody can teach you how to hit, or teach you how to throw or shoot hoops or whatever. And it's like, I think always before, as we grew up, it was just you're either good or you're not, or you're either willing to work hard to get good, or you won't. And it was never like something that you could truly develop. I mean, I think you could get better at something, but I don't think there was. I think it's now analytics, and they put all these markers on your body, and you can look at break down technique and kinetic chain, and so it's so much more advanced today. So I think you can now make people that probably would have never played a sport before. Like I think Trevor Bauer is not a very good athlete. I think he's one of the worst athletes around. Like just look at how he carries himself. But the guy can throw the ball. He used to be able to throw damn near 100 miles an hour. But he's a genius. Like he completely understands every aspect about pitching.
Yeah.
So I think now there's more opportunity, but I think from how it's treated is so much different too. Like there was a lot more loyalty before, a lot more commitment to each other before. Like kids would never leave to go to another school. Like if you grew up together and and I mean, this is from a guy that sent his son to a different school, but in different circumstance. Like during COVID, he was going through it, and so it was, the private school was supposed to go back sooner than the public school. So we sent him to private school to kind of, give him that reprieve. But now I feel like if you don't get, and you're probably seeing it now more, and even I think you guys are probably seeing it at the basketball level, a kid doesn't get what he wants, doesn't play shortstop, doesn't pitch, doesn't play point guard, doesn't, start. The first thing they do is try to get enough parents pissed off that they rip 6 kids off that team and go create another team.
Mm-hmm.
And all you've done is diluted the talent. Now you got 6 kids that are pretty good that are playing with 8 or 10 kids that aren't. And that all you do is create a worse product. And then what the whole idea about travel ball in the first place was to let the kids that are at an elevated position play against people that are in an elevated position. But now you can be an entry level in travel ball. Like you could never have played the sport and be on a travel team. And that just didn't really exist before. So I think, a lot of us growing up was a lot more like meritocracy. So you're going to go out and bust your ass and earn your spot. And if you're good enough, you're an all-star. And if you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
And now it's like, my kid wasn't an all-star, so we're going to go create a whole league, and so I'm going to make my kid's going to be the best player on the team. So he's going to be an all-star. And I think that's where, and it goes right back to what you said, raising your kids, let them fall. But I think parents now want to protect a kid when they're 5, 6 years old. If a kid never learns to fail, and then they get to a position in their life where life is really tough, then what? And I think that's when those kids go off the rails. That's when a kid that looks like the nicest kid ever will murder his parents or turn to drugs or, I mean, we know,
or quit.
We knew a kid. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't tell the story, but in high school, there was a guy that pitched against one of the teams I coached. Great athlete, great kid. His dad was a coach. Years later, murders his dad. And nobody knows that. I mean, I think there was drugs and stuff obviously involved, but it's just crazy. Like how I think when you're a little bit rougher and you give them a little bit of a tougher time and make them earn stuff, I think it goes a lot further in life. I think they get more out of it than just a
100%.
sport.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. The difference back in the day when I was growing up, like now the kids nowadays have a lot of resources. So being able to, like you said, find a trainer, go to different AAU teams, put themselves in a position to get notarized, because that's what it's really for. Now, do I agree with AAU? Not so much, because for one, it's so saturated. Anyone can start an AAU team. Anyone can go and enter a tournament, but does it really develop the kids? A lot of these, kids that are really, really good, they have these trainers. They train 2, 3, 4 times a day. They're dedicated and motivated. I think parents are more involved now with kids than they were back in the day.
Yeah.
So, for example, my dad just came to my games. He never tried to find. We didn't know nothing about AAU. I played high school ball and worked on my game on my own. There's no trainer or anything. I had brothers that I played with. So as far as the kids nowadays, you made a good point. The kids will, 6 of them will leave, but that doesn't teach the kids what, commitment is. If you're going through some hard time and you're not starting to figure out a way to start, best thing to do is talk to the coach. What am I doing wrong? Take accountability for what, your game. Maybe you don't see it. Your parents are telling you you're playing great. Well, no, you're really playing like shit.
Yeah.
Because realistically, you're going to hear what your parents are saying. Oh, the coach is not playing you right, or your friends or family. So if you block out the outside noise and really kind of dig into what you need to work on by watching tape, because now you can watch tape. That everyone records the game, and figure out what's wrong. That's going to help you and take you further. But for me, it was just playing every day, working on my game. I used to watch Jordan Come Fly With Me videos before I go out and play, because he was my favorite player.
Yeah.
Watch any game that was on, take moves from them, learn from them, trying to perfect that. And I wanted to be an all-around player. I just didn't want to be a good shooter or a good ball handler, or I wanted to kind of work on my game overall. So resources are incredible now. I don't mind it because we have kids.
Yeah.
So having more resources for the kids is great. But am I going to take my kid out of AAU because he's unhappy? No, I'm not. I'm going to be like, you're not playing good. And the coach is right. You're going to stick with the team, or you're not going to play. Why go to another team? It's not going to be. Why do you think it's going to be better?
Yeah.
If you play the same, you're going to be in the same position. So take accountability, work on your game, figure out what you want to do. And, if like my kid goes to training, but that's the only thing he does. It's not like when we played, where we loved to play. I loved going and playing. I wanted the competition. I wanted to try things that I practiced in the game. Now it's gaming. Now it's, go out for an hour and shoot. That's not going to get you anywhere. And it's hard to say, I tell them all the time, it's going to hurt you at the end. You can get so much better now and prepare yourself for high school and college, but you're going to be mediocre if you continue to play as much as you do. And that's the downfall of, having kids and the gaming and not having the love of the game. Like he's young, he's 12. So if he falls in love with it later, that's great, but I'm not going to push him.
Yeah.
I train him, I tell him what to do and things like that. I've had a lot of people ask for me to train, but I just want to save it for the kids. I don't want to kind of, plus I don't have that much time. So at the same time, I leave it up to him, and he dictates his future. I can't go out there and shoot for him. Yeah. I can't go out there and play for him. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm giving him all the resources and whatever he needs and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, he's 12. So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, he could just flip the switch in a year or two and just be like, now he's the hardest worker in the gym.
Correct.
Like, I mean, what got you and your brothers to gravitate towards basketball? How did that become the sport that you guys, because it's not.
My older brother, Nash, he used to take me, and I'll tell you a story. He used to take me to the parks with him, right? And I'm like, I don't want to play. I just want to shoot on the side while you guys play. So I think I was in 7th grade. He took me to a park, and they had 9 guys. So I was like, I'll play. I was the same size as my son. And they picked me up, and game's going, and then I go up for a layup. and I missed the layup, you know? And then 4 or 5 kids on the side or adults started laughing at me. And that turned on a switch. I'm like, that'll never happen again, you know, where someone's going to make fun of me. So from that point, I don't know if it's going to be a switch that he turns on, if it's going to be him missing every shot or someone making fun of him. I don't know if he has my genes, so I don't know if that's going to drive him. But that's what it did for me. And then from that point on, I would go with him and I would still shoot and play and work on my game at a park. And kid you not, man, I don't know what it is. My parents did not give a shit about where the fuck I was.
Oh no, bro.
That was our time. I mean, that was our era. They didn't. You could stay out as long as you were home.
Well, there was a 10
before they
o'clock
went to bed.
news
Yeah.
broadcast. It's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Do you know where your kids are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, did you care?
It got that bad where the news had to ask your parents, do you know where your kids are?
Yeah, I'm like, did you guys even care about it? I was
Man,
riding my bike
the stories
to the park.
I could tell. At least you had a bike. I walked. No,
I had a bike.
I walked.
I don't know if it was stolen, but I had a bike because I had older brothers. The bike show up, I would take it.
As soon as I got a bike, that's when I started gaining weight.
Yeah.
I used to walk everywhere though. But no, thank you guys for sharing that because it is completely different now. You know what I mean? And I didn't necessarily play sports, you know, growing up, not organized at least, with friends and here and that. But, you know, I think there's a reason why my daughter does gymnastics and Ethan plays baseball. Those are 2 sports that you can't just go play pickup.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Especially like baseball, yeah, you can get a net, a rebounder, take some tee work or something like that. But gymnastics, I mean, you can't really practice that at home.
Yeah.
At least I wouldn't and recommend it. But you know, for me as a parent, I was just trying to give my kids everything that I ever wanted, right? I think all parents do that.
You wanted to be a gymnast?
Yeah. That was short-lived. Did the splits one time, said no.
On an accident.
On accident. I was like, ripped my pants. Yeah. I'm like, I'm trying to have children one day. So that was short-lived. But no, all jokes aside, like, I wanted to give something that was special to them, right?
Yeah.
And my daughter, at like 3 years old, took her to a tumbling class, and she just loved it.
Yeah.
Plus, it was a great way for her to fall asleep at night. She, you know, waste all of her energy doing that. But then it just kept getting more serious, more serious. It would always be a coach tapping us on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, she's pretty good at it. And we didn't. I mean, I don't know anything about gymnastics. You know what I mean? Never even imagined it. We did it just as an activity.
Yeah.
Right? Bring her to something. We put her in ballet. We put her in soccer. We put her in gymnastics. That's just the one that stuck. Now, fast forward, you know, she's, as of this past season, ranked 33rd in California. But I'll get back to the ranking system in a minute because I think it's kind of a joke, especially at younger ages. 13, not so much, but 8, you know, and 9 and 10-year-olds being ranked is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But the resources is what is made it, you know, accessible as far as learning it, right? Because there's no way you can learn it on your own.
Yeah.
So yes, it takes money, and that's the hard part for the parents. You know, you got people who are busting their ass working 9 to 5, check to check, just to put their kids through this. You know what I mean? And for the longest time, that's what we felt like we were doing, but we're like, we're not going to sacrifice that. Like, as far as our bills go and all that stuff, we put that as a priority for our family because we weren't going to let them not have something.
Yeah.
Right. And then baseball, you know, my son, I feel like he started late. He didn't get to do T-ball, no farm, no single A, double A. He started his first season triple A at 8 years old. I want to say he didn't hit a single ball that season.
Yeah.
It was a long spring, not one ball. But his on-base percentage was like 800. Not a lot of good pitches at 8 years old. You know what I mean? So everything, but you know him, he's not scared to take a ball. Yeah, he'll take it to him. I'm like, don't stick your head out there, dude.
Don't move.
He's like, I got a helmet. It's fine. It's fine. I got a helmet. But no, I love the kid. But you know, so I was like, we gotta get you a hitting coach, right? So we found a guy. His name's Isaiah Garcia. Played at Fullerton. Played D1. He still coaches in the area. I want to say he's a coach for the Pelliteros. I think he does some work with the Lincoln Potters. But I was like, I think, sorry for putting your information out there, but I think it was like $100 an hour. And I was like, it's kind of expensive. Yeah. I was like, do I even make $100 an hour? You know what I mean? I was like, whatever. We got to get this kid up to speed because our neighbor across the street was like, hey, have you ever thought about playing baseball? Come out to the Little League. It was Tri-City. I was like, Ethan, you want to go? If anything, I was more apprehensive because I never got to play as a kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect. I get nervous around the parents. You know, because they start talking this, stats, and OPS and all that. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm totally out of my element. But we go. You know, I want to give them a shot that I never had. So we go. Everybody keeps telling me this kid's natural. They're like, you've never played. I'm like, never even picked up a baseball with him. Never thrown him a baseball. And they're like, he's shuffling his feet and fielding the ball as if someone taught him. I'm like, I promise you,
I have no athletic
no
ability.
athletic ability. Pokemon? Yes. Card collect? Yes. You know what I mean? But other than that, no, I've never played with him. So I was like, hey, do you like playing baseball? And he's like, I love it. So it just stuck. And then he didn't get a hit until TOCs. So he went 20, a whole season. And then one day he shows up. We're in playoffs, TOCs, I think. And he takes one glove off. I don't know who he thinks he is. He thought he was Michael Jackson or something, but he wore one glove. So then he hits the ball, probably gets a single, gets the first, celebrates like no other. The team celebrated as if he hit a home run.
Yeah.
Because he was the youngest on the team.
Yeah.
And then they kept calling him One Glove Magic. It was just a white glove. And I'm like, one glove it is. So for like the rest of the year, next season in AAA, he's just wearing one glove the whole time. I'm like, dude, your other hand's jacked. Has calluses, everything. I'm like, you can wear 2 gloves. Dude.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with that. But baseball, as you know, is very superstitious.
Yeah.
But again, getting him the hitting coach, got him up to speed. I got very lucky because I see a lot of kids who don't have that work ethic, and I never have to tell them like, hey, go outside, do some tee work, or go take some field some balls or something like that. So, he fell in love with it quick, but I did emphasize hard work.
Yeah.
So I didn't care if it was 95 degrees. I think 104 or 5 is when we stopped. But we go to this park down the street every time. I bought a bazooka machine because I was getting tendonitis from throwing the ball. We would just go out there every single day until he got to travel ball. And then I learned as a parent, I have to step back now. You know what I mean? And I'm a little worried about high school because I heard you have to step back even further. And then college, you're not even part of it.
Yeah.
We're blessed if he does make it to that level. Hopefully he does. But I'm like, I'm just happy to be here along for the journey. You know what I mean? It's beautiful when your kids do find something they love. You've seen Grace in her gymnastics. It's a beautiful thing to watch because I don't know who she is when she's out there. Like I'm looking at her, I'm like, I know that's my child, but it's like she's this whole other like young woman now. Yeah. And she's so confident, so dominant. She just switched gyms recently and they're like amazed by her already. I was like, now you've got 2 different gyms are telling you who you think you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. We pat ourselves on the back every now and then because it's like it's us reinforcing this behavior.
Yeah.
Or we think it is at least. But I think sports is probably, it was the only way my wife and I knew how to raise them.
Yeah.
We never played sports, but I'm like, you learn so much from sports about life, adversity, grit, determination, the whole, like everything you need in life, you could probably learn from playing a sport to 100%. Carry you as a person, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So, I when I first met Rame, funny story, we were at Folsom Lake. He's laughing because he knows it's probably, 90, 100 degrees. It gets hot. We're out in the lake swimming, dehydrated probably. He goes, hey, I'm talking about probably the first week we've known each other, maybe week. And he's like, hey, you want to go play basketball? I was like, we've been out to the lake all day. I'm kind of hot and dehydrated, but sure. He's like, we're just going to play pickup ball. It's going to be at McClellan Air Force Base and those hangars or whatever. I'm like, pickup ball? Cool, whatever, right? I was like, I don't have any shoes. He's like, what size do you wear? It's like 10 and a half. I got shoes. I don't have shorts. I got shorts in the trunk. So he gives me the whole uniform. I show up. Mind you, there's dudes in there that are like 6'6", 6'7", playing above the rim. And I'm like, what the hell is this? We go into the locker room. He hands me the gear. I'm changing. He goes, hey, by the way, it's like $300 to play. I'm like, bro, I'm like putting my shirt. I'm like, sure. I don't want to look,
It was a league.
He brought me to a league. No, it's a pro-am league.
It's a
pro-am tournament. And this is when I first met his brother Naz, when I first met Bassam, when he still had a decent knee. I think that's when he blew out his knee for the good.
Were you guys all on the same team?
They're on the same team, but...
What about you were on their team?
I was on their team. You know what I mean? I was like...
He did actually...
They didn't even have to pay it. You just paid the $300.
That's what I'm saying. Now I look back, I'm like, bro, now I know the fee structure. I'm like, that was the whole fee. No, but I had the time of my life, man. And I was like, I just met him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like our wives introduced us. I'm like, I'm not going to back down. Like I told the guy I could play. Yeah. I have to play now. I just didn't think we were going to play Pro-Am. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like...
He did really well.
Yeah.
Unexpected, like not being prepared, not having anything, and being his height.
I'm taller than you.
Oh my God, here we go. I'm half a centimeter or an inch taller.
I'm taller than you. You're shrinking.
Okay.
You're shrinking.
I deny that. But no, he did real well. It was the first time, and that's because what the funny story is.
It's actually the first and last time I ever played with him.
his wife and my wife, they're best friends. But when they first met, they were talking about us. Ro goes, "What's your husband like into? And does he like basketball, sports?" He's like, no, not he's not into all that. And I'm like,
she says he likes photography. And then Ro's like, "Oh, I don't think they're gonna get along."
yeah. So they didn't think we would get along. Like
Yeah.
they thought like we were just black and white.
Yeah.
Like and so when they were like, I don't know if we should introduce them and then when I met him, I was like, oh, this guy is he was quiet. He was a lot quieter back in the day.
Yeah.
Just like how he eats, really slow.
Rame and his family, everybody's quieter. You're laughing because you know that.
Yeah.
You guys are louder.
We showed up to whose birthday party was it at the barbecue place that we went to? It was just this last summer.
Lucille's?
Yeah, we went to Lucille's.
Yeah.
And we walked in and you guys weren't there yet. And your mom looked at us. She goes, "What are you doing here?"
Never met him before. Really? What are you doing here? Who are you?
My mom is
No, it was, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
My mom is so blunt, man.
No,
It
but
was
go ahead and
hilarious.
finish that story.
Yeah, no, they were scared for the introduction. Like, we had nothing in common. Did your husband like this? No. Did your husband like the no. The hell? So, I don't know how it came about where they were like, I think it was the beach. That's the first time I met you.
Yeah,
Right?
well, the lake.
The lake
Yeah,
was
that
the
lake.
first time.
That might have been the first time we met. Crazy for you to ask me to join a pro-am league. Because I may never hang out with this guy again.
Like,
We weren't going to be able to play in that league unless he came and paid.
Yeah.
He calls his brothers. He's like, "I got a sucker. He's gonna pay."
No, we got one. We got at B Lang. B Lang. I think he's Mongolian. Adam.
He played in Mongolia.
Put Mongolian on the back of his
No,
jersey.
but the other side of that story is Twee calls me. It was like, "Hey, it's like my new bestie at work. She has a husband. He's like 12 years older than you." And I'm like, "I don't want to hang out with this." I was like, "I don't care if he did play basketball." She's like, "You could play basketball." I was like, "Why would I want to play basketball with older guy? Like, I don't want to play." And I was like totally against it. I was like, "I don't think we're gonna 12 years older." I'm like, "I'm good." I'm chilling with my Pokemon cards. Like, no, I didn't even have Pokemon cards. That's more recent. But no, I seriously was like against the idea. Plus, I was like way more reserved back in the day before I met their family.
Oh my god, so much reserve.
Before we were all
like a mute.
indoctrinated.
He was a mute.
Yeah. Wanted to be a mime.
Training.
Like his personality, like
Dude, you know them. All they do is roast you. All they
Yeah.
do is clown you. And imagine just sitting there taking it. Like, my blood is boiling all the time. I'm just like,
he's gotten so good at having comebacks and coming up with stuff.
it's like a lot of practice.
Yeah,
Iron
yeah.
sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I took my
coming
fair
around-
share.
Yeah, being around with us, we don't hold nothing back when it comes to it. We just
You definitely have to have tough skin. Even so, the funny thing about that, going back to the kids, even with my son, when he first met his two boys, they're brothers. You know what I mean? Like, you wrestle, you roughhouse. You know what I mean? Ethan was like, "Dude, get away from me! Like, where's my sister?" You know what I mean? He'd never experienced that. So like, to this day, I owe it to them for making him tough. You know what I mean? Because they're like, "Dude, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you quiet?"
Yeah.
You know, they hit it off right away. They're still brothers to this day. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if it wasn't for that, I don't think Ethan would be as tough as he is now, or even playing sports.
Yeah.
Because it was just video games before.
Yeah.
And mind you, he still plays it now, but no sports at all.
Yeah.
He asked me if he could play esports. I said, hell no.
What? Remember that story where Ozzy pushed that kid at the mall?
Yeah, there was. We were in Reno at the mall. Reno does have a mall, believe it or not. But we were at the mall. There was a playground area. And I don't know how old they were, maybe 7, something like that.
7'6", yeah.
But they're best of friends, and Ozzy was always the bigger one and the protector of the group, even for his older brother Noah. So they're at the top of the slide, and some kid like starts to push Ethan off the slide, not intentionally or maliciously, I should say, but just pushing him out of the way. And Ozzy comes out of nowhere and just shoves that other kid. It was like, no. And we're like, oh, Ozzy's always gonna have their back. You know, I was like, that's when we knew it was like, oh, you guys are brothers.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool to see. We were just standing back as parents, like, oh, that was kind of cool.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, but I think you're growing up with brothers makes you witty, and you got to talk shit, or you're gonna fight. It's either one of the Diaz brothers fought. You guys talk shit, probably fought.
Yeah, they have 5 brothers.
Yeah. And
I have one.
And then growing up playing sports, you get that. So probably that reserved is just you weren't around that locker room bullshit. You know, everybody like most of the stuff on the field is like the game's fun, but it's all the other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what you end up missing when it's all over.
Yeah.
That's you miss that camaraderie, and you try to find that in other places in your life,
Well, I see it when we travel with the kids now.
Yeah.
It's like the best memories are at the hotel with your team. The
yeah.
lunches.
The parents too.
the
like you guys
parents,
are now
know what I mean?
having great relationships with parents and
Oh yeah. Especially not so much gymnastics, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But the
well, it's
baseball
more
team,
individual.
yeah. The baseball team definitely. We got lucky. It's our first travel ball team. We've been with them for 3 seasons now, and or 2 seasons. And the family is everything. Like it's a 10 out of 10 group. We barbecue together. We bring food. We pack we pick the same hotels. So we got really lucky because I've heard nightmares.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I can be, you always find like a silver lining. Especially when you have a baseball team that has 15, 16 kids, you can find one other set of parents
Right.
that you can vibe with at least. I mean, and we were fortunate too. I mean, even through college, like Gabby's last year at Reno, I mean, those families were phenomenal. Like, and they're still some of my best friends. We talk regularly about stuff, and it was just a great experience. We got to travel. We traveled a lot. Got to go to Hawaii, and we went to Vegas, and kind of just did a little bit of everything. So you guys, and I've told B this a lot. Like I drove to Stockton the other day. It was an hour and 30 minutes to go watch him play, so I could go have breakfast with them at my favorite Mexican place, and then watch Ethan play because I just miss it. Like I miss that. Like some people are like, oh, you gave your life away or whatever, and I'm like, hell no, I do that every day that I could, and I would do it. I would not change a thing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even the mistakes we made, and because there are, you'll experience it. Like maybe you stayed on the team too long because the relationships were too good, or maybe you left the team too soon, or whatever it might be, and or even if the kids are just like, I have my biggest regrets about raising him. I'm fortunate enough to have all 4 of my kids played D1 at the D1 level on scholarship, so I'm lucky. But I also was very tough, like almost to a fault, and I think I have some regrets about. I have regrets about some of the things I did, and even B and I had this conversation, a year and a half ago or a year ago when one of the first games I went to of Ethan's, and I just said, Ethan was looking for gratification from his dad. Just kept looking back, like, am I doing okay? Am I? It
didn't help
okay?
that I was standing on the fence,
like this with the sign.
And he was being pretty reserved with his replies or whatever, but at the same time, he was giving him feedback. And I just said, hey, I'm going to give you just a little piece of advice. Just back off. When he's on the court, when he's on the field, be his dad. Because that's the biggest regret I have. And I'm a really good coach, and I'm not good at a lot of things. I mean, I'm a really good coach. I've won at the high school level in multiple sports, and I just know what it takes. We would build a culture first, and then a team. It's a team environment. You sacrifice for each other and all those things. But where I have regrets is that even when they were playing for somebody else, and I knew I was a better coach, I should have just let them play for somebody else. And so that's and I would leaving the field, where the conversations weren't always good.
Yeah.
And those are the things that, I've driven all the way back from Las Vegas and not said a word to my kids. I was so pissed. Wow. And those are the things I wish I'd have changed, because I wasted, 7-hour drive where we could have had a great time, and whatever happened. And they didn't intentionally do whatever they did, and it doesn't even matter anymore. But how I know it doesn't matter, I can't even remember what happened. But there's things that, and this is what I told B, I think as you raise your children now, just enjoy it, man. Try to make sure that, be tough and hold them accountable and set a really high standard. I would always tell them, we're shooting for the moon and we hit the stars, we're still pretty damn good. But if you aim for mediocrity and you fall below that, then you're below average. That's no life to live.
Yeah.
And so we always talked about, the fear that most kids have and why they won't give 100%, because if they give everything they can and they fail, then what?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, you were allowed to fail when you're a kid, and it made you a better adult. And so, because when I've failed a lot in my life. I've lost multiple businesses, but I've always found a way to get back on my feet. I had business that did really, really well. And, we didn't diversify enough and got super stuck in where we were at, and we lost everything and had to completely start over. And I've had to do that a couple of times, but it didn't define me. I wasn't going to let one little failure be the end of my life, or now I change my direction of my life. Like, my dad was, he was the first generation here from Mexico. So he was a laborer his entire life and then got lucky, built a business, grew a pretty good amount of wealth, but never took care of the wealth. So died broke. My dad died of cancer, died, broke. But my dad, told me, like, I made my money with my back. You're going to make your money with your head, with your brain. Like and your kids are going to, my job was to get you to college. Your job is, your kids are not going to be nurses or doctors or whatever. And then, athletes or whatever it may be, they're going to take everything to the next level, and then their kids will take it to the next level. So it's really like, and so I didn't know any different. Like, I mean, when I was raising my kids, I was stern, and, probably now people would say it was abusive, but it wasn't. I mean, I never physically hit them or anything, but, words are tough too. And I think that's where I look back and I'm like, damn, man, I could have done things, but not just with my kids, with I think a lot of people. But if you just try to, like, not let one thing or any couple of things define who you are, and just try to keep being better every day. And we set that example for our kids. We've made some tough decisions recently. All of us, we always make tough decisions, but it's always about who else is looking. It's like what you're doing when nobody else is looking is what really matters. And the kids see it, like, and they know, like, you guys are setting a great example all the time. Like, this weekend being around you and your kids and your guys' family, I mean, it's special. I mean, and it gives us as Lori and I an opportunity to be attached to a family. I mean, you don't get that much, you don't get those relationships much. So it's just, I think that there's something to be said with, and I think, your guys' family now is, being first generation here, and raising your kids, you guys assimilated. Like, your kids are very integrated into the American culture. I mean, you're playing the two sports, probably the most Americana.
Right.
I mean, baseball and gymnastics are all American. It's everything, I mean, and to see that now and the opportunity you're giving them, it's pretty, I'm very proud of you in a lot of ways when I sit and watch you raise your kids, because you listen too. Like Rame, Rame and you and I'll give you advice, and your kids are about the same age. So, but it's like just understanding, like, how they could become better people. That's what our opportunity is.
Yeah, I still remember that conversation. I know the exact field. The crazy part is when, again, not having the experience as an athlete myself, I thought by giving them instant feedback, standing on the fence, showing my emotions was my way of caring. Like, because I looked at other parents, I'm like, nobody's saying anything. So I thought they didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, they're just out here having fun. I'm like, it's a pretty expensive sport to not care. Yeah. I was like, I know how much I'm paying. So I'm like, why are you not showing emotions?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you can't help yourself as a parent. You know what I mean? Like, you get upset with a certain call, especially with umpires and stuff like that, or the lineup or batting order, whatever it may be. But ever since you've told me that, and that was last season, right? Baseball has only gotten better for us as a family. Like, I even had to tell my wife to like if you want to say something, just cheer for him. You know what I mean? Because giving him that instant feedback right there, it's like he already knows how to play the game. That's what practice is for. That's what the games are for. Like, he already puts more pressure on himself than we ever have to. You know what I mean? And, like, for example, one of the worst things for a lot of kids now is that car ride home, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
They dread it.
Yeah.
They dread it. You're going to tell them, you missed this bucket. You missed this pass.
Yeah.
This field goal, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have swung. You were under, over, whatever. The ball was too high, too low. They were in the game.
Yeah.
They know what happened.
Yeah.
They knew every single play that they were part of it. They know they messed up, right? And I'm not saying to just be soft and not ever bring it up. You can have a conversation, but the way I approach it now, I ask Ethan, I'm like, hey, what'd you think of the game? How'd you think you did? Versus accusing him of this or telling him or blaming him for this.
Yeah.
I asked him, how did you do? Are you proud of the effort you put up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just a mental shift, right? And not making it a negative thing. And I tell them all the time, like, I'm just proud to see you compete at this level.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing we tell our kids, especially when you keep pushing him higher and higher and higher, right? Now his team's playing majors teams at his age, at 11. And that's not easy. And the last two tournaments, they got their ass whooped. Playoffs Sunday, one and done. And it's like, they probably learned more from those 2 weekends than they ever did winning.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But we got in the car. He was like, is it cool if we get ice cream? And the older me was like, hell no. You don't deserve no damn ice cream. And I'm lactose intolerant. So we're not doing that. You know
I'm getting ice cream.
Yeah, no, I don't
You're watching me eat the ice cream.
I don't have a lactate pill, nothing, bro. Pepto-Bismol, none of that. We're going home. It's a 2-hour ride from Ripon. You know what I mean? No, but I was like, let's go. Why not? You know what I mean? He still busted his ass all week, and he's a starting catcher. You've seen him out there. He barely gets a break. He catches all day Saturday and then all day Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's like, what ice cream is not gonna change his moral compass all of a sudden. Yeah. It's like, oh, I get awarded for doing nothing. No, you know what I mean?
The motivator,
right? I'm like, so I think
Dad, I struck out. Can I get some ice cream?
Right? No, that's. But it's like maybe that's how he just wanted to cheer himself up that day. So I'm like, let's go get ice cream, right? Let's just go get some food, do whatever. But one thing I'm super proud of is he never wanted to coach. Rame never wanted to coach, and what do you have, like 15 dogs?
Yeah, too. I think they can white it out though. I don't think they'll hear it.
Reporting live from the Front Street Animal Shelter. We got dogs, cats, Mongolian food, all the above. No, but Rame, when I first met him, he's like, man, I can't coach. He thought he was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't coach, all this bullshit. I'm like, bro, stop it. Yeah. You can coach. Because I'm like, go help your son. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to shoot by himself. Go help him. No, but he does a great job. But I was like, I feel like Rame is such a smart athlete, such a smart basketball player that he has a lot to give back. And maybe it's come full circle now because he finally started coaching his son's elementary school, right? But I was like, you have so much to give to the game. You know what I mean? And maybe it had to run its course for him to finally realize it, for his kids to start playing, see them get older. But I feel like his coaching journey, I feel like it's just starting. Yeah. You know what I mean? But for me, it's like the more you give back, I think the better it is. Like, I think your life will be more fulfilling.
Yeah, you know I mean, piggybacking on like the kids and how you kind of treat them, I'm kind of the same way you were back in the day. So I think of it like this. You have to adapt to the kid's personality. Like, you can't yell at a kid that's more reserved and can't take it. But if because I see a lot of stories of NBA players, how their dads were really hard on them, like the Thompson brothers or Brunson's dad. Yeah. Very hard on them. Like, he pushed them. Yeah. Expectations were high, and he didn't know how good they were going to be, right? So no one knew that the Thompsons would be the most athletic brothers in NBA history, I think. Yeah. So I think if you know your son, if you kind of figure out what he can take, what he can't take, and what information he can process and turn it into a positive, and not yell at him. And if you're yelling at someone that's gonna go into the sheets and be scared and all that, then you adapt, right? So I think it's your kids and how you are. So I don't mind parents pushing, right? But I don't want parents yelling at kids during the game or yelling at them for missing a shot or whatever. I think that's wrong. I think constructive criticism is needed, right? So, talking to them about the game is perfectly okay. Like B said, how do you think you played? And then giving your insight. B doesn't need to have played baseball to know the game. Yeah. Right? There's a lot of NBA coaches who've never played who are great coaches. Yeah. So you don't need to play in order to kind of be knowledgeable and understand the game. Kids need to understand that. Like, we see the game, you guys are playing it, which B said was, there's already pressure for you guys. With my son, I think he feels a little bit of pressure because anytime there's people that I've played with in the past, they're always, "You're gonna be as good as your dad." They say does he have game? Like, I'm like, no, he's good. He's good. He's got more talent than I had at his age. Yeah, he's got the shot, way better shot than me because all I was a dribbler up until high school. Yeah. So he's got the tangibles more than me. He just doesn't have the drive like me yet. Yeah. So my drive was a lot. I wanted to make it to the NBA. That was my drive. And maybe if I was taller, you've played with me, you know that maybe I thought I could have made it in the NBA, and I thought I was good enough right out of college. But at the same time, things happen, and that wasn't my path. But with him, they call him Baby Jokic. Whenever he plays, he can score, he can rebound, he can assist. And he's an all-star. So you've got all the tangibles. And I'm telling him now that I'm paying for you to play in these. Next year, you got to make the team. Daddy can't go. No one knows me. I'm in the past. I'm not going to have a guy that's played with me and go, "Oh, that's Rame's son. Oh, I'm going to give him he must have game." Yeah. No, it's not like that anymore. You got to make the team. You got to work hard. Like yesterday, I was sitting watching the game, and he got home from school, did his homework, cleaned up his room just like the boys do every day. And I'm like, did you go shoot? Did you go play? No, mom and now that we're sleeping. I'm like, what? They were sleeping. They took an hour nap. It's like 5 hours went by.
Yeah.
You're not shooting in the back. I have to remind you to go work on your game. Yeah. You got jump rope. You got a heavy ball. You got all the tools. I put a net in the backyard so the ball doesn't go over. You have everything that you want. And so that's the thing with him is the drive. If he wants it, I don't think he's got that epiphany moment where he goes, damn, I love this game. Yeah. He doesn't have that yet. Yeah. That me missing the layup at the park and them laughing, that was mine.
Yeah.
He
doesn't mean it's not coming though.
It doesn't mean it's not coming. Yeah. And I'm patient with him. Yeah. All I say is, have you worked on your game? Have you gone out and shot and did all that? And that's all I ask.
Yeah.
And until he goes and I see him playing 2-3 hours a day, then I'll step in and I'll teach him. Like I taught him his form. I taught him shooting, what to look at, positioning. I taught him that because I didn't want him having a bad shot. I taught him all that. And sometimes I'll go out there and I'll teach him moves, anticipation, things to look for in a game. And he'll use that sometimes in a game. So he takes in information really well. But I'm not the type to sit back. I will criticize. I will be like, why'd you do that? This is what you could have done.
Yeah.
Right. If your team's down and you're the scorer on the team, why are you facilitating?
Yeah.
You got to be more aggressive, right? If you're taking the shot and you're shooting 40% from the three and you give it to a kid that always missing a layup, I understand you're unselfish. He's very unselfish.
Yeah.
So if you become if you're losing the game, then be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
But if you're winning the game and you want to make the passes like you've been doing, then do it.
Yeah.
But read the game, figure out what the team needs, and then kind of go from there. But that's what they call him, Baby Jokic, because he does everything.
Yeah.
So that's me. Some kids can adapt. You have to figure out their personality and what they can and can't take. But yeah, sometimes you have to be the way you were.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it because it makes them stronger.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a negative aspect of it. I think the kids are built, they have your genes.
Yeah.
Or genetics. So they're going to be able to take it. And I bet they're stronger today because of how you were than having someone not say a word and just let them. Because if they fail, they'll know that you were right or they'll get back up. So that's my perspective of the coaching thing. And I'm not going to coach. Even B says, I don't think it's the start of anything. I'm more
says that now though.
Yeah.
Well,
I see B coaching more sooner than me.
And I think it's hard, like, guys that are really talented at something have a really tough time coaching. And the biggest reason, to be truthful, is they're not empathetic enough for the kid that's average or below average. Because you expect if you put in the work, you became great. But some kids can put them in the work and they're just putting in the work. Like they might not ever get better, or they're going to get markedly, incrementally better, and so that's where I think it's harder for like somebody who's been talented at a particular thing to be able to coach others up to a level. Now that you have the knowledge, you have the talent, all of that, but sometimes it's like, it's what's inside that you can't because you have to be empathetic. But I played all the way through college. I played D1 baseball too. Like we played D2 my junior year for the national championship, and then we played D1 my senior year. But I was okay. Like I was not. My kids are a million times better than me. Mm-hmm. They're more athletic than me. They're just better than me than everything. Their work ethic was better, but that's what kept me on the field. I only got to play because of my work ethic.
Better looking too.
Much better looking. Yeah. That's a fact, Jack. So
your boy's got a strong mustache.
Mustachio right now.
Yeah, mustachio question when he's in town.
But we'll just, we're at about an hour today. I mean, I think these are something that, we could talk forever on. Like these podcasts could literally go on for hours. I mean, because I think we get along really well, but we also have a lot of, the same core values, and we support it with humor and talking shit and just having a good time about stuff. But for me, I'll just, you know, I'll kind of chime in about, like, for me, this is like cathartic. Like, it gives me an outlet
Oh yeah.
to be somewhat creative, and so I'm looking forward to keep doing this with you guys.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll be here, bro, every week. Don't tweet. Don't
Every
get
week,
killed.
babe. You hear that? Every week.
Every Monday.
Monday,
Drop
Memorial
Maddie
Day, Mother's Day.
We might have to do. We might just have to do dinner on Mondays or something, and that way everybody can come through. And
Yeah, they can hang out at the
Yeah.
shelter.
because we're about to get to summer right now, so that'll
Yeah,
help school.
make sure you bring a sweater and beanie next
Yeah.
time. Because
think
I
it's-
can't feel my legs. I don't
It's
even
probably
think I can get
54
up.
degrees. Feels like 32.